Welcome on in to something a little bit different today, although we're still kind of doing this spectator esports style commentary. This is a tournament in Pokemon TCG Pocket where no EX Pokemon are allowed. It was listed as a tournament in France or for France, but I do know that there are some players that are from other territories, like up on the top. So, we have our player's perspective, which is the bottom half, but the top half, DrBrandao up there, that was a player from Brazil, but then the bottom half, I think they didn't have a territory listed on Limitless TCG. So I'm not sure. I presume that, though, that would be France because we are spectating from their perspective right here. They are the bottom half. They are the player. It's like our perspective. And the language is in French. So that's just my best guess, of course. And so I think that the person's name is Antoinus. It could be Antoinus, but again, with the French thing going on. But we're already now at the turn where maybe you could make something happen with this Pyukumuku right here. Yes, it's finally some new names for me to say in these tournaments. Rain Splash, going to deal that 30 damage, of course, to the Tentacruel over there for DrBrandao. And so again, with no EX Pokemon being used, there may be some lessons for you guys in here to learn. I'm not positive, but the other component is just that we'll finally see something that's not. All right, Mewtwo EX, Pikachu EX, Charizard EX, etc. down the line. But anyway, they are going to go ahead and send in Frogadier over there on DrBrandao's side, the upper half. 2 energies already here. We'll be able to water drip for that 30. They're obviously looking for Greninja. It did seem that Greninja and Tentacruel were sort of largely represented in this no EX tournament. And so Greninja, you're getting that surefire damage with some water shuriken action. Poison tentacles for Tentacruel to guaranteed poison the other side. And so that's kind of what the competitors are likely looking for. Let's get to it as fast as possible. Maybe a little bit of delay going on the bottom half right now that Tentacruel is out right there on the bench. And so, 2 Froakies, of course, setting up for that Greninja. You could just water shuriken straight from the bench for some guaranteed damage. I believe it's 20 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon. But now you're going to also see DrBrandao with that Articuno hitting the bench. And of course, just regular old Articuno. It's got that Ice Beam for 60 damage, but you also are now seeing Greninja in that active spot to do a water shuriken. Start taking down that Tentacruel if they can. Don't want Antoinus building it up, so also going to get that KO with the Mist Slash. It's a nice 60 damage here for Pyukumuku to be knocked out, and Tentacruel is on in just 2 energy to essentially guarantee poison, but also a nice 50 damage. That's nothing to sneeze at, right? And right now it's at a beefy 90, but starts out at 110 HP, and so you can see why it probably would be a good choice for a non-EX Pokemon. That poison is going down with them poison tentacles right there. 50 damage as well. It's almost like 60 damage because you do get hit by that poison. If it happens to you, at least DrBrandao taking that 10 HP as well. And so right now, the other component of this that was not spoken yet, kind of the unspoken but shown, is Misty. And so the Misty card going to be able to represent the competitors here that are sticking with these water Pokemon of Greninja, Tentacruel, etc. You can guarantee they're going to have 2 Misty in their deck, so both of these competitors do right here. And so Misty, I have to kind of wonder about it in the future of the meta. So like when we have new expansions and things like that, what's Misty's role going to be? Because I do feel like when you think about Pokemon that are energy generating, right, like Gardevoir, it can only give energy to the active. It's 1 energy at a time. That's nothing to just like toss aside. That's really powerful on its own right with Mewtwo EX, of course. That typical meta. But then if you think about like Moltres EX, that is an EX Pokemon, so you're going to be giving your opponent 2 prize points if it does get KO'd. Obviously, it's all on the coin tosses. I mean, Misty is as well, but I'm just saying. And then it's got to be fire Pokemon that are on the bench. There's always kind of these like stipulations around these just energy generating things that we think of, right? That represent the current meta. At least when I record this, we did notice Greninja getting knocked out, of course, right now. So DrBrandao takes a hit right there. But notice this, it's the RKO out of nowhere. Yes, revenge KO out of nowhere, you guys. Tentacruel on Tentacruel. And so this is going to get poisonous, watery, poison-filled KOs, I guess. So yeah, just to wrap up that thought though, like Misty, it's where's that going to fit in the future? It's just going to all depend on if there is sort of a more water-heavy centric. And of course, water encompasses ice Pokemon, you know how the TCG works, right, you guys? But yeah, so Misty we could see having kind of some major hits later on. we'll just have to see what gets introduced. But yeah, there we go. It looks like that Tentacruel now going to be feeling the poison on DrBrandao's side, feeling a lot of damage too. And so you have to wonder, no, they will not take it out because they want to get that poison right here. So no retreat right now on that Tentacruel. DrBrandao just needs one more KO to win this matchup. I believe Antoinus does as well. I've probably been ranting a little bit too much in that I missed how many prize points were available to for the victory. So anyway, let's see. Potion goes down. That's going to actually be really helpful in this kind of battle of wits of poison. But there you go. If you do retreat or anything like that, the poison goes away. And if you evolve the Pokemon, but here it is. It looks like that is going to be a KO. So yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think DrBrandao would hand it over if there was just one prize point left. So I'm glad we did get to see that. No, Antoinus is now at 2 prize points. DrBrandao, 2 prize points, and look at this. It looks like with that Articuno in there, it's going to be able to get the win with that Ice Beam. Of course, you can flip a coin, and if heads, the active Pokemon for your opponent gets paralyzed. But hey, no need, because that is a victory for DrBrandao right now. Going to be winning this game 1, and if I didn't mention it, which I didn't, you guys, this is actually at the start of the top 8. I don't know what was going on with the streamer. I cannot pronounce the name. It's probably Coeyn. It's Coeyn. I'll have links and everything in the description, etc. But something happened where they ended the stream early for the tournament. So this was really kind of the match that was furthest along for me to get, that also maybe had some interesting moments. But yes, you guys, we are in that game 2. Of course, Muku right now for Antoinus, the only Pokemon here to start out the game. Of course, it's in that active spot, obviously. And so let's see, DrBrandao going to be putting down, okay, it's going to be Tentacool and Froakie on the bench. And so right now, they will throw down the Pokeball here for turn number 1, since they obviously can't put energy of their own. But the interesting thing is that with Misty, if you do have that Misty card and you're playing first, you can actually throw out that Misty. And usually you don't get to place energy right on your own turn when you go first. But again, if you have Misty, you can actually put on energy that way, and then you may be able to make a play here on your first turn. But no, it doesn't look like DrBrandao will do it, of course. So we are seeing Antoinus right now. We'll put the energy on Muku. It goes ahead, gets that Rain Splash going. It looks like, yes, for 30 damage on this Tentacool. Are we watching like a mirror matchup of last time? It's not exactly, of course, because the bench Pokemon are different. But look at this. Looks like Tentacruel going to be down right here for DrBrandao. And so that means, of course, poison, perhaps in the future. But yes, as we go on to our next turn right here for Antoinus, it looks like they did draw Misty. Now, the streamer has opted to blur the hand. So, of course, most streamers do seem to hide this, for tournaments and whatnot, for, I guess, avoiding the stream snipes and otherwise. And so I did say poison was coming into our future, but it's not going to happen unless there's going to be some retreating going on. So you're going to need an X speed there if you're DrBrandao. Take out this Articuno from the active spot. So yes, there it is. That is going to be the X speed. And so then they'll be able to bring back in Tentacruel, which happens right here as it hits that active spot. And then they throw down another energy. And look at this. It's going to be those poison tentacles to guarantee that poison. Muku in trouble, man. So it either will need to retreat right now to get that poison, stay on that 10 HP. We do see a Pokeball goes down, but this would be the only way to kind of deny a prize point for DrBrandao. And so now we're seeing, of course, with the other Tentacool on the bench, it does look like Antoinus will instead just opt to let the Muku fall. The only thing about that is that, yeah, okay, you got the attack, you got some damage off, that's good and everything, but now you essentially are sending in a Pokemon, just this Tentacool, for example, just to essentially get the Coeyn. So the one-hit KO. Coeyn going to break up the band, because look at this. It's going to be 50 damage. Look, I mean, you even also have Greninja to do that 20 right here to the bench. Tentacool, not looking good right now if you're Antoinus on that bottom side, because there's the 50. There's going to be a guaranteed poison. It will take that 10. So look at that. There it goes, Tentacool. And really, is there any hope? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I don't usually like to kind of over-predict things. I like to just play by play as it happens, but I mean, what are they going to do? So yeah, they go ahead and get that concession rolling for Antoinus right here. So that will be it. And DrBrandao is going to win this No EX France tournament in Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'll go ahead and give you guys the standings so that you can see kind of the trajectory of what happened. You'll see DrBrandao did get in the top 4, Antoinus right behind. But you guys, please click an end screen on screen to see another video, and thanks for viewing.